Okay, if you look at the Bible, the Earth is about 6,000 years old. If you look at evolution, it's billions, but it's not billions.
Why not?
Why not?
Well, I could give you. I think I can give you fair evidence.
Yeah, I mean, you can give me something some creationists said, but not people who have actually done a detailed study of the science and made theories and tested them.
It's not about who it comes from. It's about the information in general.
Well, I agree with that, but the point is...
Can I just give a few things that I think it shows that it's about 6,000 years old?
Okay.
Okay.
I have here the index to creationist claims. Let me see if you've got one that isn't on here.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'll just start with a few.
Okay.
Okay, if you were to believe that the Earth is billions of years old, like evolution says, and that humans started millions of years ago, according to the increased rates of population, you would have 150,000 people on the Earth per square inch.
Okay.
That's true. That's true.
No, it isn't.
It isn't?
So Noah's flood had like 8 people surviving,
and
right?
If you add...
Okay, do you know when the pyramids were supposedly built?
What's that?
Do you know when the pyramids were supposedly built according to Bishop Ussher's chronology?
Oh, well, they were the old kingdom of Egypt. They were probably, I don't know, maybe 2000 BC.
They were built about 100 years after Noah's flood was supposed to have happened. So that means that 8 people were supposedly going to have generated enough people to populate Egypt that there were all these slaves to build the pyramids. Those 8 guys must have been pretty busy, right?
No, okay, first off, if the Earth is 6,000 years old, it fits perfectly with 6 billion people.
It doesn't fit perfectly.
Yeah, because about 150 years, the population doubles, and if you keep that average pace...
The population doesn't like, consistently, reliably double every 150 years. What happens is that people survive at variable rates. Sometimes the population is flat because there's a lot of people dying off.
Okay, was it flat for 3 million years?
Yes.
To evolution?
Actually, the rate of population growth...
On an exponential scale,
yeah,
yes.
The rate of population growth was very, very small.
I can't read that much,
for a long period of time. So...
Oh, if you want to believe 3 million years, be my guest, but I don't think that's very...
And let's be clear, it's not evolution that claims the Earth is 4.5 billion years, roughly.
That's fine, but...
It's actually geology.
Geology, well, if you don't want to believe in the geologic column, I mean, that's not reliable at all.
Yeah, actually it is.
You believe that, so you believe that those layers grew over millions of years?
No, they didn't grow over millions of years.
The sediment added over millions of years.
I believe what the geologists claim happened.
Is that what you... Well,
so what you're telling us is that the Bible is reliable as long as we're willing to dismiss all of science in order to get there.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying...
I mean, you don't seem to be particularly interested in what... I mean, what you're basically saying is what one person says is pretty much as good as what another person says. It doesn't matter how much study they've done. It doesn't matter how much the base science supports them. If it disagrees with the Bible, then it's got to be wrong by default.
I think if you show that the Earth is 6,000 years old, like the Bible would indicate, I think that shows that it's accurate.
Okay, good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck.
I have more claims.
All right.
Well, go ahead.
Okay.
Next.
The universe, the galaxies have their spiral shape. Can we agree on that?
Hang on, I got galaxy spiral right here. That's CE 380.
And if the universe is over 10,000 years old, they wouldn't have those spiral tails.
Spiral arms are density waves, which, like sound in air, travel through the galaxy's disk, causing a piling up of stars and gas at the crest of the waves. In some galaxies, the central bulge reflects the wave, giving rise to a giant standing spiral wave with a uniform rotation and a lifetime of about 1 or 2 billion years. The causes of the density waves are still not known, but there are many possibilities. Tidal effects from a neighboring galaxy probably cause some of them. The spiral pattern is energetically favorable. Spiral configurations develop spontaneously in computer simulations based on gravitational dynamics.
Okay.
I mean, this stuff you're saying is not like news to scientists in general. These aren't things that a bunch of, that a bunch of biblical scholars came up with and completely
but there's a
stumped
bunch
people.
but there's you act like there's only scientists that scientists that we have now. None of them are Christians.
No, I'm not saying none of them are Christians.
Some of them are Christians, and they disagree with what you say.
Right. I mean, the Christians that study this stuff in depth generally don't stay like young Earth creationists. Some of them are old Earth creationists, but I mean, there is no real scientific support for the idea that the Earth is young. I mean,
yeah.
No, there actually isn't.
Really?
Okay. Okay. You're familiar with carbon dating at all?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Okay. It can only be measured up to,
accurate to a limited amount of time in the past, yes. There are other methods of radiometric dating that are accurate to longer periods.
But in the lowest layers of the geologic column, why can we still date it at carbon dating, period?
Because that's a misapplication. People are taking things which are older than carbon dating is good for, and misapplying it and coming up with the numbers that they see and pretending that this is a big disaster for science.
You don't understand. If you can still measure carbon in it, and then that means that it's less than millions of years old. It can only be maximum 80,000.
There's this thing called a half-life. The carbon never completely disappears.
No, but they can't measure it after 4 or 5 half-lives.
You understand that there's different forms of carbon, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know they date things, potassium, argon, radiometric, etc., but none of those work either.
Yeah, they actually do. And you know the cool thing about these things is that when you start dating things with the appropriate radiometric tool, they all converge on the same answer. And when you have multiple lines of evidence converging on the same answer, then proposing another absurdly out-of-range answer is just ridiculous.
Absurdly out-of-range answer?
Yeah,
like 6,000 years.
That's... Okay, here's some dates for radiometric.
Okay.
Let's see. This is Mount Etna. The rock they used is basalt. They know the date known was 21,000 years. It measured 25 million. I wouldn't say that's accurate.
Well, where are you getting this?
That you could use that as a source right there, but
I'm sorry. Mount what?
Where are you
Mount
getting
what?
Mount Etna?
Can you spell that?
Mount Etna.
Can you spell that?
E-T-N-A. Mount E-T-N-A.
Okay.
What about it?
The date they've measured with radiometric dating on basalt rock.
Who did the measurement?
What's that?
Who did the measurement?
I just have the dates. I could find that, but I don't have it on me right now.
Okay. So
it was measured.
Who's reporting this?
I'm sure I can tell you that, but I'm sure if you look that up, that's there because that's the source. But I got that from John Morris.
Okay.
He's a creationist.
Who's a young Earth creationist? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and if you want, I have a few more.
Well, I mean, why would we be interested in rehashing creationist claims over and over again?
So why would you believe that dating if it's off by 25 million years? Why would you believe it?
The question is, you've got creationists who are going out and using inappropriate dating techniques.
Whoa! How do you know how can you assume it's inappropriate?
Because to my knowledge,
where are the published papers, the mainstream peer-reviewed scientific papers that say that this is a serious flaw in the carbon in the radiometric dating?
Well, you can check him up. He cites everything he shows.
I know.
Things, but there's a difference. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm stepping on you.
No, John Morris. I mean, he's been exposed as basically a guy who really doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to radiometric dating. He makes a lot of claims. He can't back it up. He doesn't have the credentials. If he had the credentials, he'd be published in mainstream publications, and believe me, if he found a flaw in radiometric dating that caused
But there's assumptions,
dating,
even if those
no, no,
dates
no, no,
aren't
no,
correct.
no.
Okay.
If he found
okay.
a flaw in radiometric dating that was this significant, he would be famous for it.
And not among creationist circles.
Exactly.
I mean, actually, among scientists.
So my question is, why are you citing a guy who does not have the credentials to actually be regarded as any kind of authority in this area?
But that doesn't mean those dates are wrong.
Yeah, actually it
Have a
does.
credential. It does. You can prove that those dates are
But
wrong.
No, it's not because he lacks his credentials. It's because he's wrong.
You know that date off the top of your head?
Do I know what off the top of my head?
It
No.
comes back full circle to the first thing you asked, which is why not believe in a God? And I said that the default is to be skeptical of stuff until there's evidence provided that a thing is true. If we got some guy off the street who says that my primary goal is to advance biblical truth, and then he makes a bunch of claims which run counter to the prevailing science, no, I don't have the information right now to say whether he's wrong. I'm just saying that you need that. The burden of proof is on his side.
Okay,
he needs to bring the evidence and get it peer reviewed so that people who are qualified, which is not like you, me, and Jen, but people who actually are able to evaluate the scientific evidence with a background in studying this stuff, can accept or reject it. And the fact that it's not in peer-reviewed scientific journals is a major issue that means that we don't have to bother worrying about it that much.
Still, dating or not, it still doesn't matter, because when God made everything, He made it with age.
How do you know?
Okay, take Adam and Eve.
Yeah?
When He made them, they weren't babies, were they?
You know
They
I
were
don't
full-grown
believe that
men.
Adam and Eve exist, right?
Can you hear my point out for a second?
No, you're saying that this is something that could have happened. I understand the Adam and Eve argument. I'm saying, how do you know it did happen that way?
Well, I believe the biblical creation.
All right, so in the end, we're not talking about arguments that prove that God exists. We're not talking about evidence. We're talking about accepting your beliefs as they are.
No, okay, here's my number one evidence that God exists.
Okay.
I believe that, and I can give you...
This is going to have to be the last one because we got to move on to other callers.
Okay, but I believe that the universe is so accurately designed, you can't deny a creator.
We've already been over that one.
We just talked about that.
Okay, thanks for calling.